Hello everyone. Today we're going to be discussing on how to go and set up an advanced manufacturing planet to go and make robotics. A few examples that robotics are used for are fuel blocks, Tech 2 drones, and other Tech 2 components. At this point, it is assumed that you have both Command Center Upgrades Level 5 and Interplanetary Consolidation Level 5. Once this setup is fully running, you will be generating 3 units of robotics per hour. What we're going to do now is we're going to go and cover the layout on the screen. It has launch pads, 2 launch pads coming in, bringing products in, which will consist of chiral structures, toxic metals, reactive metals, and precious metals. From there, you can see at the top to where the 6 factories there will go and be making your consumer electronics, which will be routed into the storage structure right to the right of that. The lower half of the factories will be making your mechanical parts, and they will also be routed into the storage structure. Now, each robotics factory requires 10 consumer electronics and 10 mechanical parts. As you can see, there's enough to go on of advanced factories making both components to cover the need of your robotics factories. When you initially set up your layout, I recommend that you go and let your consumer electronics and mechanical parts build up in your storage structure for 2 to 3 hours before you route them into the robotics factory. This way you'll ensure that you have enough supply to go and get started in case you have a supply issue bringing in any of the needed materials. What we're going to go and do now is show you how to go and set up your initial load to go and have your manufacturing start sooner. On your planet, this is also assuming that you have your command center upgraded to level 5. You're going to have 4 launch pads and 4 storage structures for one structure for each item. Each storage structure can hold just over 26,000 units of P1 materials. On the screen here, you can sit there and see that I've already set up my command center, the 4 inbound launch pads, in the initial set of storage structures. So all you have to go and do is move everything over. And what this does, as you do your initial push of P1 into the storage structures, this saves you at least 7 hours, 55 minutes, as you don't have to wait for this one to go, for these 2 launch pads to go and cycle so you can push more items in. Now, at this point, we can go and delete these 2 with this, because right now with our power requirement we cannot have 4 launch pads to bring items in. What you're going to do now is set up, the way that the map has it, 3 sets of advanced factories that feed off of each factory. Try to keep them close together, so that way the power requirement is kept as low as possible. All right. We have, again, with our layout here, what we have are six advanced consumer electronics factories and 6 advanced factories for mechanical parts. What we're going to do next is set up the storage to go and house both of them. Which will be there. Now, what we're going to be doing is laying out the robotics factories. And from there, once the robotics are made, they will be pushed to the launch pad to bring them out. Make sure you click submit. Now the fun part of having to go and set all of this up. Remember, you're going to be setting up consumer electronics. Remember, you're going to be, each factory makes 5, so you're going to need, for 3 advanced robotic factories, you're going to need 6 consumer electronic factories and 6 mechanical parts factories. Routing, everything is routed to this storage structure. Now we have not set up any of the inbound items. Parts. Thankfully, setting all this stuff up now is much easier than it was before the huge quality of life update that was completed for PI. Make sure you hit submit. Alright, now, as you can see, these 6 factories are now set up. They just need the input materials. Same thing with these 6 factories down here for mechanical parts, just need the input materials. Everything is routed to this structure. And as you can tell, whenever you have both items that are supposed to be routed to each factory, it turns from red to gold. Alright, now that all of these are done, when you hit submit, they will all start cycling at the same time. So that way everything floods in to the storage structure. It will all match the same pace. So you won't have more of one than the other. Submit. As you can see, everything is now being pushed through from P1 into the factory to go and generate to P2, which will be stored here for the consumer electronics and mechanical parts, which will be taken here into these factories to go and make robotics for P3, which will be pushed to the launch pad out. For this, all you do is set up. Robotics. As you can see on the input, it says 10 mechanical parts, 10 consumer electronics. Oop, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. It will generate 9 robotics per hour. Each factory will generate 3. Route to your outbound. It is routed. Final one. Alright, as you can see, it's still missing the input materials. Make sure you hit submit. There we go. With it being red on the screen, which indicates that the factories need attention, again, it is because we do not have any P2 items ready to go and be funneled into the robotics factories. Once you go and let this run for, I would recommend again 2 to 3 hours to get a nice little stockpile of it. Then from there, start routing your materials, and then from there, every hour, robotics will be pushed off into the launch pad to go and make ready for pickup. What we're going to do now is we're going to go and look at one of the robotics planets that I already have set up. Alright, here we have it. It's in full production. Everything is running fine. You make sure you want to go and keep these stock levels up as high as you can. With the inbounds, you have to go and split them because you have 2 items from one launch pad, 2 items that go from another launch pad. You want to go and split them to no more than 13,000 each, so that way you'll always have something in here to go and make sure your supply is available. Everything here, your mechanical parts and consumer electronics, get fed to the storage structure. Robotics are made here, and everything is final product pushed to this launch pad. From there, you come in, access the customs office, pick everything up, off you go. This is just one way to do it. I'm sure that there are many ways out there that people do it. Some corporations maybe even have videos on how to go and do it. Find what works for you. If this helps you get launched off, and take it from there and adapt it to better efficiency, by all means do. Let me know if you have a better way to do it or just a different way to do it. That's all I have for now. Everybody have a great day. Take care.